Hi everyone, this is Thaddeus Owen, engineer on Herman Miller's sustainability team, and welcome to another edition of Herman Miller's Sustainability Chronicles. Today we're going to talk about life cycle assessment, LCA. If you haven't heard of LCA before, you probably will soon. The new version of LEED V4, has points for supplying products to the building that have life cycle assessments associated with them. What is an LCA? Life cycle assessment is a tool that we use at Herman Miller and others use as well that looks at all of the emissions, potential emissions that go into and out of the environment, the energy flows and the material flows of a product from the time the product was extracted out of the ground and then sent to Herman Miller for assembly, distributed to our customer, used by the customer, and eventually makes its way to the end of life where it's either reused, recycled, or hopefully not, thrown away to the landfill. All of those stages have emissions to and from the environment potentially, as well as may use energy or other materials. Life cycle assessment tool tracks all of that in one tool and then takes all that data and summarizes it, puts it through a calculation model, and gives us potential environmental impact of our products. So for instance, for the Aeron chair or the Mira chair, we can know what's the carbon footprint of that product. What's the acidification, the potential for creating acid rain? What's the potential for eutrophication? That's the power of that tool, and it can really tell us if we go back into the supply chain and all the nitty-gritty details of extracting those raw materials, where are the environmental hotspots for Herman Miller and our products? And what we learned as we did this, over 80% of the impacts for our products, sometimes as high as 95% of the impacts, are upstream from Herman Miller. They're not within our own walls. All the manufacturing and assembly we do, all the distribution and the use by the customer, still 80+% of those impacts are upstream from us in our supply chain. So we know our products don't use energy during their use phase. So when a customer uses the chair or a systems product or a table, in general our products don't use electricity or they don't take gasoline. So during the use phase there's not really any kind of environmental impact of the product. That means that raw material and material selection is really a big deal for us. If we want to make the largest environmental impact, our life cycle assessment studies tell us we need to work upstream with our suppliers to help them become more environmentally friendly, use less energy, have zero waste. And we have to work with our engineers to ensure they're choosing the most environmentally friendly materials, because material selection has just about 100% to do with the environmental impact of our products, since they're not using energy during the use phase. Now, what have we done with that data? We have certainly implemented some work with our design teams and engineers to ensure we are looking at using the most environmentally friendly, the least impactful materials. And we've been implementing work with our supply chain that's been ongoing now for over 2 years to help our direct suppliers reduce their energy, use renewables, reduce their waste. So we're already doing the work that really has a major impact on our environmental hotspots at Herman Miller. So you may or may not care about what a life cycle assessment is and what it does, but if you have customers that are inquiring about life cycle assessment and whether we have them, we certainly do have life cycle assessments for all of our major products. So all of the major seating, the task seating products, we have life cycle assessments already completed. And in fact, we have environmental product declarations, which we'll talk about in another Sustainability Chronicle, that are already published online publicly, so both you or the client can already access those results. We have them for filing and storage. We have life cycle assessments performed for tables and also for our systems products. Now, a life cycle assessment, when we create the model, and it's our team, the sustainability team, that's creating these models, it's not an outside consultant. When we create that model, we then write a report that details the goal and the scope, why we did the study, how we did the study, where we got our data from, a lot of boring details to get to the final answer of what's the carbon footprint of this product. That report is 50 to 150 pages long. That is not what you want to send to a customer. It's not what your customer is going to be reading on their weekend trip to Vail. You want to send them a summary. So if you have a client asking whether we have life cycle assessments for our products, the answer is yes. You can check with the sustainability team on exactly which products we have them for. If the client wants the results, they probably don't want that really big 50 to 150 page report. They want a 1 or 2 page summary. What is the carbon footprint? What did you do? I have something to file away or to look at or compare. We can provide that. So you want to contact the sustainability team and ask us for that summary report if a customer really needs to have a document in their hand. Now, those reports, if you are sending them to a customer, if you do have a customer that wants to know about life cycle assessment that we're doing, it's very important for us to have a conversation with that customer. Life cycle assessments, the results from those or from an environmental product declaration should not be compared to those from another company. In fact, our trade group BIFMA commissioned and published a study on life cycle assessments of one product, exactly the same product, but the results that came out were vastly different. So just one product with the exact same data done by a different LCA practitioner because they picked a different data set or made a different assumption can yield final results of the carbon footprint of the same chair being 100% different. We've certainly performed life cycle assessment on the majority of our products. We have those reports. Our life cycle assessments are third-party verified by an outside consultant who is an expert in life cycle assessment. We have some publicly available life cycle assessment results. Today, it's on our seating products, and those can be found on a link that we'll provide to you in the form of what's called an environmental product declaration. We are looking and using those life cycle assessment results to make us better at what we do and to reduce our environmental impact. And yes, the customer can get results, they can get a summary, or they can simply get an acknowledgement that we have done the work if they're looking for specific credits within the LEED v4 standard. Thanks for listening. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to contact the sustainability team. This is Thaddeus Owen for the Sustainability Chronicle.